Welcome to Flesh and Pod, a Flesh and Blood podcast, breaking down weekly news and notes from the tournament scene, community drama, game strategy, and more. And now, here are your hosts, Derek and Logan.
Hello, and welcome to episode 86, take 19 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Logan. I am your host, and with me, as always, is no longer an edgelord, Derek Oswald, and also with us this evening, as it gets later and later and later, cosplay queen, Taylor Farmer, and noted Matthew Simp, Carolina Alvarado. We'll start with you. I know for a fact you didn't do shit in Flesh and Blood, but tell people why you didn't do shit in Flesh and Blood.
Are you talking to me? Okay, listen. We don't do shit in Flesh and Blood when it's time for cosplays because we have ADHD and we don't have a sense of time management. And if I do anything other than cosplay and create a cosplay within the month of like a big event, I will not get the costume done, okay? I will actually just completely forget about it. Right now, I'm procrastinating because I don't want to do a cosplay, but in my mind and my brain is forcing me to do it. And so my brain's forcing me to make a costume for Nats, but it's also not letting me start the costume. So I'm at a little bit, and I'm not allowed to do Flesh and Blood because of it.
Okay, great. So what you're trying to tell me is you are not allowed to do anything other than work on a costume that you don't want to work on. Otherwise, the costume won't get done. So here's the next part. Have you ever not gotten a costume done? When?
Then, no comment.
Okay, perfect. No notes. So
I'm just trying to figure out, that was a really long-winded way to just say that you didn't work on Flesh and Blood because you were seeing Barbenheimer.
that is a long way of saying you didn't do Flesh and Blood because you're watching Barbenheimer. Which, you know,
Listen,
it's a
we
cultural
may or
touch
may
point.
not be filming this really late because I just came back from Barbenheimer.
That's right. Like this isn't super late. Take 19 is because we have tried to record this in any number of ways over the course of the last roughly 45 minutes to an hour, and shit is not working very well. So now we're using just a different recording technique entirely. And hopefully this fucking works. Otherwise,
this is going to sound awful, but that's my fault because we are now on a Discord call recording with OBS instead of using real tools. We got so desperate at one point, I was literally in Microsoft Edge. And if you know what that experience is like, then just know that's how much we love you as an audience, because I booted up Microsoft Edge for you.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you know, we're all in 3 different states, and you're the only one that can use Edge in your state because it's the only one where abortion is legal.
Yeah, that is actually a fact.
Ooh.
Well, we ended Carolina and probably this podcast too, but that's okay. What was ever accomplishing anyway? Now, Derek, your big reveal. It's your time, buddy. Shine it up. Get ready. Make everybody proud of you. Did you do anything in Flesh and Blood this week?
I did nothing at all whatsoever.
I
did book a trip to Spain. Yes. Got my flight and my hotel around so that I can fly out and participate in some worldly competition and get to showcase. I did realize during take, 7, that I get to showcase my Bravo Espectacular in actual Spain. My Spanish Marvel Bravo can grace Spain for real. I'm so excited.
I can't believe that you have one of those.
I know, right? They don't exist.
Weird. They don't. Well, that's the fucked up thing is I've seen 3 of them for sale recently, and I was just like, well, I mean, but and the prices were astronomical, and I was just like, okay, glad I got the one I did when I did. But thanks, Keith. It's usually what that boils down to be honest. I actually like played some shit. I played 2 armories, I guess, and one of them was on Vincent where I just didn't win anything, like never won a single game. But that's more build and understanding how to play the deck than anything else. I mean, I again just threw shit at the wall, see what sticks, and nothing stuck. So that was not great. And the other one was just playing Briar because I'm toxic. So,
yeah, I'm not surprised by that though, just because you have publicly admitted that the deck building portion is usually your weakest part of the game.
The weakest
anyway.
by far.
So like I'm not surprised by that. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, I've never in any game, like period, full stop. I've never been good at deck building. I've been very good at tuning, and I'm mediocre at playing, and I'm terrible at building. So that's kind of where my strengths lie, is making other people's decks great for them, and then watching them pilot it to glory and victory. That's my life. But yeah, okay. So we've stayed far more on the rails on this take.
You know what's also funny?
Proud of you.
I was just realizing we've taken so many takes that we've hit the point where like I'm shiny and sweating now. I still haven't had my AC fixed.
We don't have any energy.
They come out on Monday, so my office right now to record, I've turned off all the fans, and we've been through so many takes. I was like, man, why am I so shiny on the oh, it's because I'm sitting here sweating.
Yeah, I'm literally wearing a hoodie because my office area is too cold.
Yeah,
like it is 90 degrees outside and like
no, it's super hot in my room right now, but I'm still wearing a hoodie.
Why are you dropping weight for wrestling?
Yes, she's trying to get down to the welterweight.
For Nats, actually.
But I say, do you know what dropping weight for wrestling means? I don't know if I would expect you to know that or not.
Yeah, you're dropping weight to drop a weight class.
Okay, good enough. So that's I mean,
you think I'm fucking stupid?
I'm not answering that question. There's no fucking way you're gonna get me on wax answering that question. Nope,
yes.
Not doing it.
Please answer this. Please answer this question. Nope. Do you think I'm stupid?
Yes.
Charmer, answer the question.
Logan, what's your middle name?
I am not giving that information out on the internet.
It's Alex.
Logan, middle name Peterson.
Logan Alexander Peterson.
Oh, perfect. No, I do not think you're a fucking idiot. I do not think you're a fucking idiot. Full stop.
Okay, fine.
Do I think that you lack a certain amount of common sense? Yes.
I mean, of course I lack common sense, but that's a bit of my charm, isn't it?
That's the saddest thing I've ever just completely admitted to. But yes, you're my favorite 14-year-old, 23-year-old, or whatever.
Yeah, all bits aside, you kind of remind me of my oldest son. Both of my kids also have ADHD.
Hold on. Let's go back to 14-year-old, 22-year-old. That's a little problematic, isn't it?
Is it?
Only if they're dating.
Yeah.
That broke her.
Right,
I'm just trying to get you canceled right now.
You're
too late.
Really hard.
We were already canceled way long ago. There's a reason that you get to reveal cards and we don't.
Right, and like if they didn't cancel Charmer for serving cunts,
I don't know why.
Then well, that's another story for another day.
Can I let's start with a little bit of a juicy meat and potatoes tea.
Okay, if you want to spill some tea.
Stop saying cunt. I was told by somebody a little bit higher, not higher up, somebody, that it would be best if I pulled the reins on me saying the C word.
Oh, I guess see you next Tuesday.
And then. I listened. So, listen, that's the reason why I'm not as funny on the internet, because I was told to tone it down.
I mean, this makes sense though. Like, you want to be brand friendly. The reality is that like Logan and I joke about it, but this is also like this is just our style of show for this show. Like my other work shows probably more what you're supposed to do professionally. I'll put it that way. Like, I know how to tone it down and be appropriate, but this is the Sandals Resort of podcasts, as Flake calls it. So We need to keep that.
Okay, first of all, don't compare yourself to Sandals Resort. You're better than Sandals Resort.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. We're like the White Lotus.
You're like Fire Island.
That's worse. That's so much worse.
No, that's better. No, I'm actually with her on this.
Shit. I don't. All right. I have poured like a non-zero amount of my heart and soul into this fucking show, and you're gonna put me on Fire Island?
Yeah.
Great.
Look, all the people that were involved with that also wanted it to be successful. Pouring your heart into something has nothing to do with the outcomes, or else everything would be fine and dandy all the time.
So catch us on our other podcast, The Clash Ground, at bi-weekly, and we'll see you all later, I guess. Fuck me for trying.
No.
Okay, I'll keep going, I guess. So yes, Charmer will be in Spain. I guess that's where this all started. I don't know how we got here.
You know what, actually how we got here? You said out loud, this is the most on the rails we have been with a take so far. You opened the doors by saying that and allowing the monkey's paw to curl.
Klaatu, Verada, Nikto. Can we get back on the fucking topic? I'm asking people to get on topic.
Maybe.
Do you know how fucked that is? Okay, well we did get a quarter four PP announcement, Premiere Play, for those who don't know what the PP means. So if you're wondering when Flake posts PP in our Discord, it's because he's talking about Premiere Play. So we got a calling and a bunch of battle hardens. We're just going to kind of blitz through these, although Charmer's going to steal my role on at least one of these. There's a calling November 3rd through 5th in Melbourne. So if you want to go to Australia, which I'm sure that Bitchy Velour over here, or have you got your third strike, so it's Bitchy Velour 2 now, will be...
No one's allowed on Bitchy Velour 2, actually. I post a lot of really messed up things on there that I don't want people seeing. So no one's allowed. No one's allowed on there.
Oh my god!
It's not like messed up, like belongs on the dark web bad, but it's like I don't want people seeing my smash or pass list. Okay, like
I love your smash or pass.
So it's not what you're saying is it's not the sort of stuff that would get somebody sent to prison in Missouri so they can't leave the state.
Exactly. It's just crass, if I do say so myself. You know, it's not like you're not like a certain family member of one of our family members, but
I mean, if you're listening at home and you're curious, we had a discussion earlier about my biological father who did some time.
It was in take 2.
Fuck.
Go ahead. You're back.
Anyway, after that, we have a battle hardened in Rio de Janeiro, October 13th through the 15th.
We also have a battle hardened in Vancouver, Canada, getting their first event. Congratulations to the Canadians. Can you do what?
Yes, you can tell us the next one.
Can I list them off?
Yeah, you can do this next one so that I can stop you.
We also have a battle hardened in Pittsburgh, November 10th through the 12th. You can't stop me.
Oh, I can, because this is an important one. This is the one I want to highlight. So I think this has the potential to be one of the most competitive battle hardens of the year and potentially have one of the best turnouts, because this is the last big constructed event here in North America before Worlds. And while it's East Coast, centric, if you will, Pennsylvania is still, I think, enough in the center on that east side that you might get a lot of folks that travel there. But again, just given that this is the last real quote unquote big event before Worlds, a lot of people will like to get some testing in, make some last minute adjustments. I also think that the meta from that event might actually impact what we see at Worlds quite a bit as well.
Yeah, I think, you're right. This one's going to be well attended. I will sadly probably not be there because time does not allow. And also,
time is a flat circle, my friend.
We've determined, so this is another thing we determined earlier today, because why not? If you've ever watched, if you've ever watched True Detective, which Charmer and I were on a rant, and we determined that in the True Detective canon, Charmer is Matthew McConaughey and I'm Woody Harrelson. And there's the female character, and I can't remember her name, but apparently that's just Carolina now. So, I'm watching her collapse in a puddle as she's trying to record this episode. This is actually quite amusing, to be honest. She's not sorry. She's trying to say she's sorry, but it's actually just silent. So, she's losing her mind. Okay, I'm gonna go on. We also have Battle Hardened Wallonia. So if you want to go to Belgium, you're more than welcome to go to Belgium. And
I'd like to go to Belgium.
Battle Hardened Bangkok, which will make the immature Carolina laugh again because it's Bangkok in my Thailand. So, yep, there it goes.
I said in one of the earlier takes that I would actually really like to go to Phuket. In Thailand. Yeah.
So fuck it, Bangkok.
She bangs on my cock till I Phuket.
There you go. That's the one.
Yeah. Earlier, I don't know, it was like take 32. We said something akin to like 14-year-old, 24-year-old or whatever.
That was this take, actually.
Oh, was that this take? They all blend together at this point.
That one's on wax still.
Oh, God.
Well,
I literally don't remember what day it is. Oh, wait, today was the day I went to IKEA. This is why I'm so fucked up. Oh, man. I got held hostage in IKEA, and I don't like to buy things for myself. And my wife made me buy new shelves for my office and a new sit-to-stand work desk. So now I'm going to have to replace everything, which is going to give me an anxiety attack. But in like roughly 2 weeks, when it's all set up, I'll probably start streaming again because I'll be able to do the sit to stand thing. So you actually might see me streaming Talishar on Twitch in the near future so that I can show Logan I actually play the game.
Oh.
I mean, and I also don't like building things.
It's not the building, it's the rearranging. Like my wife and I are exact polar opposites. So she also has ADHD and she'll go through phases where she has to like renovate everything. It's just like, all right, I can't take it anymore. And I'm the exact opposite. I grew up and I moved like 16 times before I graduated and spent time like homeless and whatever. I lived my life out of boxes. So for me, getting stuff set and then never touching it again is like the pure bliss, because that means my life is not being upended. So even though like I know we're not going anywhere, just the thought of like moving stuff around and whatever makes me want to scream. So
yeah, that makes sense to me because I have two modes. It's either things are set or burn it down. So like we order new dishes.
Yeah.
And so that means to me that we have new dishes. We don't need these old dishes whatsoever. All of them need to go in the trash now. And then my wife is like, well, no, these are still good. We can like donate some of them and we probably should keep some of them. And yeah, I'm like, that's not what I said. What I said is this all needs to go now. And that includes all your ghetto fucking Tupperware. This includes every butter container and Cool-Whip container that you think is actually Tupperware that is not. When we have
do that. No, because if you throw all of those away, then you're going to regret it.
That's not true.
You're going to regret it in the future if you throw every single Tupperware away.
We have legitimate Tupperware that is in boxes that has never been opened because this crazy woman wants to keep using fucking whipped cream containers.
My wife gets me on this as well, Logan, but let me just tell you, in the corner, if I could easily pan my camera without it messing up my setup, I would. But in the corner right now, I have 7 boxes of things that like I don't want to throw the box out because my pack rat mentality from my childhood says like we might have to move again and I need to put it back in its box, and they're just sitting there.
I have that too. Like I have that too. Like I get that, and I did not move once as a child. I spent the first 18 years of life in the same house. I did not move until I left for college. And I grew up with...
I also have 36 of the like cardboard things from booster boxes from Flesh and Blood just sitting in my office.
Nice. And then I went so I went to college, and between college and like this house, I moved like 18 times. So... I went from never moving to
41. I have more on this other table.
Oh, well, that's fair. I don't want to go into how much bullshit there exists over here. It's a lot. And what are you fucking doing? Are you wearing eye protection for this podcast?
Safety
what
first.
The shit?
Safety first.
Oh,
Okay, so for context, I'm actually at my cosplay desk. And so I'm just wearing shit.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's great to see your process in action. Did we talk about Battle Hardened Hanover in Germany? That's also
I mean, we
one.
also skipped Orlando, but so did the rest of the country.
Yeah, the rest. Well, they should. I'm like forced at gunpoint to go to Orlando at some point this year because I paid for a vacation last year, and it's like I don't want to go to Florida, but I also don't want to be out the money. Like, I guess. So I'll go in like October or something when the children are in school and I can find fun things to do, like maybe protest the governor's mansion or something. Go to Tallahassee for some fun. But at any rate, we did also just get the PTI event, Battle Hardened Chicago, just ended. So let's go ahead and talk through a little bit of the Battle Hardened Chicago. It was won by Rhea Adams again on Icelander again.
It was a really close game though. A lot of like big swing back and forth.
Yeah, so it's against Guy Cohen on Dromite. So everybody should at some point in time go and it's on YouTube. Go and watch that match. It is, I think, the tightest match of Flesh and Blood I've ever seen. I did not see any egregious misplays out of either player. It was clean, it was tight, it was thought out. Rhea pulled it off in the end by this like sheer will of patience.
Listen, I know you said that you don't like think about Flake, but like I can't wait for him to do his magic on you saying it was clean, it was tight. Like that's all I hear.
Oh god.
And thought out.
Oh fuck me. No, he'll never put thought out. Like he's going to take
clean,
and do
tight,
his
and thought out.
Have you
it
ever
was clean and
and,
tight.
and
No,
just
he's gonna-
this episode alone, he's gonna edit it in with you talking about Bangkok and
Can I be honest with you? I'm mad that he didn't edit anything about me. He has. I'm pretty sure there's enough. I have a big digital footprint.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have it on good authority.
Me. And he did not incriminate me.
I have it on good authority that you and some other people had stuff that was never released because upon looking at it, the thought was that like maybe that went too far.
Too far. Yeah, too far.
You were not the only one either.
No.
Like yeah.
Too far. Me.
Yeah.
Have you
me?
ever do you read your own press clippings? For fuck's sake, yes, you.
So funny. So funny.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, so funny. Everything I do is funny. I'm the funniest person on the entire planet
This
Earth.
is exactly what I expect out of you. Just the most self-serving shit you can possibly shovel into the mouth of human beings comes out of you. My favorite thing that ever happened, I'm going to tell the story now. My favorite thing that ever happened that involved Carolina is that Charmer, myself, actual Tanning Grace, the Stonks Elemental, and someone else are sitting at a table.
I don't think I remember this.
So Stonks Elemental, his name is Andy, but yes.
And so in Flake's phone rings and it's Carolina. And he's like, oh, see who's calling me? And then he hits click to decline the call. 30 seconds later, Carolina comes stomping over because she watched from a balcony as Flake declined her call. She was 30 seconds away from just walking over and saying hello.
So this is the same person that's like, I don't know why he didn't incriminate me. I don't know, because he doesn't want to be murdered. He's not Elaine.
We can't beat him. Let's go.
For context, this is what I saw from my perspective. Listen, I am at this bar that is on the second floor that looks over a bunch of tables.
Third floor, but close.
I'm here after dinner. I'm already like 5 drinks out. It's not the third. It was the second. Let's not.
No,
I don't have eagle eye. Fuck. Is it? Do eagles have good vision?
Yes, there's a reason that you would be described as being eagle-eyed. Yeah.
Anyways, I see that all of these people, it was a bunch of people just sitting there, and I see Flake. I'm like, I'm gonna call him, and I call him, and I'm looking on top. I'm looking over everybody. He says, "Look at this bitch. Hands up! Hands What if I was dying? What if I was dying?
You
What if I
wouldn't
was
call
getting
Flake.
murdered?
You wouldn't
And
call
he just
Flake.
didn't answer. Okay, but he doesn't know that.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't know that.
He 100% knows that.
I answer every phone call.
Oh, really?
I answer every phone call.
Oh.
Even if it's the debt collectors. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess I figured out something about your life. Huh. So the Battle Hardened Chicago top 8 was 3 Lexi, 2 Dromai, 2 Icelander, 1 Levia. So not the most diverse, but I mean it's still something. We're in a developing meta.
What is there? It's diverse. Listen.
Okay, I guess, yeah.
If they have the diverse higher in the top 8, then it's fine. And then they win.
Are you calling Levia the diversity hire? Yep, you just called Levia the diversity hire. Okay. Just making sure that that's a real thing.
I get to say that. She's my favorite.
Really? Interesting. I thought your favorite was Dash.
I love her. That was my first hero.
You're a Dash simp.
Levia was my first hero.
But I don't see you simping over Dash the way you simp over
listen, let's talk about the difference between... No, let's talk about the difference between my favorite playstyles and my favorite aesthetics. If we talk about my favorite playstyle, it's Dash, but I hate Dash's aesthetic. If we talk about my favorite aesthetic, it's going to be anything out of Monarch.
The funny thing is, I know
literally anything,
and it's a hilarious story. But we're not going to get into it on here because that would be rude, and I'm not that kind of person. I'm not.
Also, my stances have changed.
I'm aware. It never will. maybe on FAP After Dark, but so
FAP After Dark.
And we're going to talk about that later too.
Every weekend.
And okay. We're going to go ahead and act like you're not double clicking your mouse, and instead you're just you're listening to the show. So the top 8 of the CC, the PTI event was 4 fucking Dromai, which was won by Austin Reddington on Dromai. Noted Legends of Runeterra player, apparently, per Charmer. Then you had 1 Katsu, 1 Azalea, 1 Levia, and 1 Briar. So it was Dromai's weekend, it seems, and none of these say Mara Ferris. So Dromai must actually be good.
Yeah, it's rather interesting to see how popular Dromai was, right? Like, I think that's the real story is, yeah, there was a big turnout in the top 8, but Dromai continues to also be one of the most represented heroes. Now, historically, it has been that Dromai is very popular, but your conversion rates are bad. But this is like the first event where it feels like Dromai finally broke through.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like, Dromai showed the fuck up and was putting up results outside of the hands of the Empress of Volcor, Mara Ferris. That's just a...
Listen, put some respect on her name. That's my Empress. That's my queen. I will gas her up. I know that you don't want me to gas her up, but I will gas her up.
Do you understand how insufferable she is?
I will gas up Mara Ferris.
Results.
And I will make it worse. I will make it worse. With pride, I will make it worse.
She is a Freudian dream and nightmare at the same goddamn time.
Is there any way to not make it worse than with pride? No. She is gay icon Mara Ferris, after all.
She is gay icon Mara Ferris.
The pride is a prerequisite, I'm pretty sure. It's a requirement.
The pride, yeah, the pride is there. It's a good thing that Ashley made sure that we understood.
You do know that straight people can also be gay. Listen,
oh sure, like I'm allowed to go to the barbecue. Listen, I know that Elon is trying to change Twitter to X, but I'll respect his name change when he respects pronoun changes. Like, that dude can fuck off all the way to the sun.
Yeah. But that's the
do gay people have barbecues?
Yes,
sure.
Like, yeah, I've been to gay barbecues. Are you kidding? But I
think good.
Were you?
What do they make?
Oh my god!
Is it like a potluck?
No. Usually they just do all the cooking. Well, I tend to cook a lot, so the ones I've been to, I also contributed because of the fact that I cook a lot. But they usually do a really good job. They plate really well, so it's usually just like take your standard barbecue fare and upgrade it like 3 levels. That's usually what it seems like to me, because they put more time in like they put more time towards like flavor profiles and things like that instead of just like slap meat on burning surface, flip twice, serve people. Like it seems more intentional. I guess that's where I'm going. It's like parades, right? Like you go to like
so it's cooking with purpose.
Right, exactly. Like if you go to just a standard like 4th of July parade, it's like whatever. You go to a pride parade, it's the best fucking time you'll ever have in your life. Like full stop. It is such a good time.
Things are just always better when you're around people who appreciate love, right? Like people who love to cook always make cooking better, and people who love to love make loving better, and that's just like the cross.
That is it. But the gay icon thing, I don't know. Were you not there at the table when that happened with Ashley?
I
Carolina?
was there.
Okay, I thought
I
you
was
were.
there. It was very funny.
I laughed my ass off.
Gay icon Mara Ferris.
Gay icon Mara Ferris.
The straightest gay icon in all of Fab.
Yes, 100% true. Man, we're still off the rails.
I want to be a gay icon.
Well, work harder.
Logan, you invited the cosplay queen. This is the rails. I think you misunderstood what the rails were. Actually talking about the topics is off the rails. I'm gonna be honest with you,
this is the butter dog expose. We're not talking.
This is not even, we don't even get bitchy velour right now. We're getting butter dog. So it's
which is Discord, which is worse.
Which is way worse. I cannot, because like when Fab After Dark happens, it's gonna be Greg, this bitch, and me, and probably you, and it's gonna be. There's a reason we're not recording it. There is definitely a reason that none of that can be on wax. But
if it's not recorded, can we see who's in chat?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is that a thing we can do?
Yeah.
I will spill the worst tea. Okay.
So we're talking.
All you're doing is pumping our Patreon.
I don't care.
That's great. I'm into it. Pump our Patreon.
I will do anything. Literally, I will say fucking anything. Get me on FAP After Dark, which is the best name. FAP After Dark. I'll talk about anything. Ask me anything, everything. Horrible things. I'll say it.
All right. Like you heard it here first, folks. Like you heard it here first. We're gonna do
very much incriminating evidence.
Well, yes, there's a lot of tea. So we're gonna do a quick rundown of the Salt Lake City Brawl weekend, which is coming up August 4th through 6th. Co-hosted with Kayfabe Cards. Blitz Super Armory at Kayfabe on Friday night. Classic Constructed 5K on Saturday, followed by a Blitz Battle Hardened on Sunday. There will be a speakeasy party on Saturday night. I think it's going to be held in the ruins of the Mormon temples, because that's about the only place I haven't said yet. I don't know where in fucking Utah you celebrate at.
I thought it was. I thought they were gonna do like the bonfire a la Burning Man on the Great Salt Flats.
We could do Burning Man. That's right. We can do Burning Man for the speakeasy party. That'd be great. I'm not gonna be there, so great.
Yeah, it's Burning Datadell.
Yeah. Okay. I'm into it. There's also in this one.
Speakeasy party is actually held at the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Already been there, and the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. I've already used those two. We are going to talk a little bit more about this one tonight because
it is going to be held. Hold on. It's going to be held at the abandoned Starbucks. The abandoned Starbucks.
I have not used
because nobody in Utah drinks coffee. Right. So every Starbucks is abandoned.
You know what? This is news to me. I was, up until literally this exact moment, very sad, very upset that this was the first Realm event that I was going to miss. This is going to be the first Realm event that I'm not casting with Flake. And I have a different engagement. I have to go represent myself
Wampa
and Flake
Radio.
and others. Yeah, represent Wampa Radio at Gen Con and also take my oldest son. So I'm very sad I was going to miss it. However, if I can't have coffee, like I'm just not going.
Oh, no.
I'm out.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Charmer, you're going to be at Gen Con?
I'm going to be at Gen Con, yeah.
Wait, so I'm going to be at Gen Con. Carolina, are you going to be at Gen Con?
No, I'm going to a music festival. I was under the impression that Gen Con was sold out because everyone told me it was sold out, and then I found out today it wasn't sold out, and I'm trying to make it to at least one day, but I don't think I can.
Have fun on your Shaq DJ set.
You know how fucking... Actually, let's talk about it. First of all, it's going to be a great time, but you want to talk about how far deep I am in this whole, like, weird... Okay. Every single time I grew up and people were like, you're a nerd. You're a nerd. I'm like, I'm not a fucking nerd.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
not a fucking nerd. And the fact that I am sad to miss Gen Con over a music festival I have gone to every year for like the past 4 years, or like, well, not 2020, I guess. But actually, I did go to that online. So I did go to that technically. A music festival I have gone to for years. And I am sad that I'm going to that music festival and not a board game convention.
You
Can
a
we
fucking
talk about
nerd.
that?
You a
Can we talk
fucking
about
nerd. Uh-huh.
I'm a fucking nerd. I cannot. The allegations have gotten the best of me.
You know what else you're missing out on? Not just Gen
I've been trying to
Con.
beat for the past year. Losing.
You're not just missing out on Gen Con, though. You're also missing out on Iozos.
Oh, Yozos. Yeah, you're missing out on Yozos.
What's Yozos?
It's a fantastic Italian restaurant.
So at Yozos, they pull their own pasta in-house. They make all their own sauces in-house. But that's all well and good. That's great. That's what Italian restaurants should do. They make their own booze in-house. They make their own limoncello.
They also dealt with a rowdy table of a lot of our crew. And not only did they deal with our rowdy table, but they put us in our place in exactly all the right ways.
They said, get the fuck out.
No, I was
he was scaroused.
So I was very scaroused. A couple of things here. One, at that table was like Tommy Dong, Jordan and Abby Kennedy, myself and Charmer, the Realm crew, and so it was already a little intense for the crew that was there. And then so there was this server who was adorable, like totally just like, I was like, damn, you are a super attractive woman. And she's pouring water for everybody and cuts to my cup and it's out, like her carafe is out. And I'm like, oh, I see how it fucking is. I don't matter. And she's like, I'm sorry, I'll go get more. She comes and brings the carafe out, and it's,
Why are you making her feel bad?
No, she holds it up in front of me and goes, "Tell me you value me." And I'm like,
she came out and just demanded it, like.
And then she goes, "Good."
Me and every relationship I've ever been in. Me and every relationship I've ever been in. I will not give you anything until you tell me that you value me.
Yeah, but I don't think you understand, though. This is the first time I've seen Logan's like ovaries explode. Like, that's what happened.
And so like my gonads swelled 6 sizes that day. And so she locks eyes with me and just like as she's pouring will not take her eyes off of me, and then comes and she's like, "Good," and then walks away. And I'm like, this is divorce mode restauranting. Like, this is okay. I did not know that was a thing. Fuck me.
She said, "Good."
Yeah, that's that good.
Didn't know I had a dominatrix as my waitress.
Well, I mean, she started off soft and then came in hard. But the well, you know.
Oh, don't they all?
Yes, don't they all? We're gonna move to the 20K Realm Invitational weekend, and since we have noted personality Carolina Alvarado on the show this week, we're actually gonna spend a little more time with this one. So December 1st through 3rd in Columbus, 20K Invitational starts on Friday. I know you are. There's a 5K minimum brawl happening on Saturday with a 2K blitz on Sunday, but there's a lot more going on than that. A lot more. And I have it on good authority that one Carolina Alvarado, in conjunction with our favorite serial killer obsessed cosplayer, Elaine Hammondtree, are planning some fucking bullshit. Carolina, would you like to give a little teaser?
I don't want to. Okay, so I don't want to tease too much.
Just a taste.
I don't want to tease too much, but
a bump. Just a
Elaine
bump.
and I have been planning a bit of a cosplay contest and a bit of a cosplay thing. We were approached to basically handle a cosplay contest, around the cosplay contest, which is a little bit more creative than what it should be. Elaine and I have been planning it, and whenever we get on call, we're like, let's hop on call for an hour or two. These calls go for, I shit you not, at least 6 hours of us just spitballing and trying to world build. So it went from us putting together a cosplay contest to trying to convince Keith to get aerialist in this ballroom-esque type thing. And we're like, hey, can you get aerialist? Can you get riggers? Like, can we rig things on the ceiling? Can we actually just take this entire brawl and turn it into, like, we want a world build. We want to theme the entire event around this little cosplay contest. We have created a monster out of a tiny little, like, chicken, okay? But I don't want to promise anything. We're still in the works of a lot of things. There's still a lot of things happening.
So funny.
There's still a lot more conversations to be had.
Funny story. I heard about this for the first time at Origins, in Columbus. Charmer was there with me, and Keith was talking to us about everything you're talking about. And we were working the Alpha Clash booth. So Alpha Clash, new trading card game that just came out 2 days ago, as of this recording. And we were working that booth because Ridge, the CEO of Alpha Clash, is local to me. And I met him, and I've been working with him since and helping playtest and helping anything I can with the game. And then he's listening to the conversation because him and Keith were talking about holding Alpha Clash events hosted by the Realm, right? And Ridge goes, oh, you need riggers? That's easy. I got those. How many you need?
Oh, that's so easy.
And then he's like, and Keith's like, what? Wait, why? He's like, oh, I was the strength and conditioning coach for Cirque du Soleil. I just know that entire industry. So what do you need? And he's like, I think
it's the best way is that he can get riggers and I can get performers.
Right. Yes.
Because I was a circus performer my entire life.
Yep.
And it's in December, which is
dead
whenever
season, right?
It's dead season. It's dead season. So there are people that want work that I can, be like, hey.
And there are ceiling anchors in the Columbus Convention Center. We have that confirmed.
That is true. I looked at that and I said, hey, there are ceiling anchors. Because I looked up. I looked up at the ceiling and I saw all of the lights, of course. All of the lights around like the convention hall. And then I saw the ceiling anchors because my dad is a rigger.
Yep.
And so I just looked up. I'm like, ceiling anchor. Let's go. Aerialist.
Oh, shit.
But it's not confirmed. I don't want to promise anything.
No, it's not confirmed.
But
this is the type of thing.
We might have a show going on.
Right. This is the type of thing that the Realm is known for, is creating these sort of one-of-a-kind experiences within the communities. And this is my way of saying Carolina and Elaine are planning something. And so you should probably show up.
This is the first time I've ever wanted to be a part of the whole performance thing. Like, casting is one thing, but the moment I realized that I could be Owen Hart for this event, I was in.
The idea that we had, I don't understand that reference, first of all.
Logan does, and he was mid-drink. Logan almost made that camera.
You motherfucker. Okay, so sorry.
Well, the idea that we had for our cosplay contest is to world build. I'm talking over everybody now because you both are dying.
You people.
But yeah, we want a world build. So what we want to do is take our cosplay contest and theme it around our theme for the entire event. So it feels almost as if everyone is coming together and putting in work to basically create a story and create a theme and,
Yeah, sure.
make it work,
I totally understand. I think it's great. By the way, what the reference was here is Owen Hart died while rappelling into a WWF ring because the rigger fucked up the harness and it snapped while he was 125 feet above the ring and hit the metal post with his face.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, a buddy of mine was sitting about 8 feet away when that happened, and he was in the EMT and hopped the railing and was like, well, this is bad. Okay, well then now that we've
I have so many like rigging fail stories. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's not good. We're gonna move on to listener questions, and these are I just don't know why we ask anymore. We're gonna start with like a real one first, like one where it is not a troll question. This is from Thomas. You guys answered a question recently about packing for events, but I'm wondering specifically about flying. Vegas Calling will be my first event I'm flying to. Any tips on packing cards and supplies, check bags, etc.? Also, I don't know exactly which events I'll be doing. Should I just bring a deck for every potential format? So I'm going to kind of address these things. First step, if you have a carry-on, and you should have a carry-on, any deck you're considering playing in the event, put in your fucking carry-on. Whatever you do, don't check that bag. You can check it on the way back if you want to. If you want to run that risk, that's totally fine. Otherwise, do not check that bag, ever. Also, in that same checked bag, have a change of clothes, because your bag may get lost. And if it does, the worst fucking thing is to be in a place that is 112 degrees and you're sweating your nuts off, proverbial or not, and you are then putting on that same pair of rancid, crusty, sweaty fucking drawers the next day. You do not want to be wearing swamp ass 2 days in a row. That is not okay. So when you're packing for these things, right, exactly. So when you're packing for these things, kind of plan through that. So step one, don't check cards on the way there.
I want to take that a step further real quick. It's not even don't check cards. So normally when you're flying, you have carry-on and you have a personal item. And then if you want to check a bag, you can also check a bag. But let's just operate under the assumption that we're doing one of each, right? I don't ever check bags if I can help it. But let's just say, if you're somebody who's checking a bag, you also have a carry-on and you've got your one personal item. Cards and decks and things like that go in your personal item. That needs to either be a backpack, a satchel, a laptop bag, whatever. But that needs to be the thing that just doesn't even because sometimes if you have a connecting flight and you're on the small planes, they'll still make you check your carry-on. I don't want that to go anywhere in the hold of a plane, anywhere where my cards can warp, where the pressure will change because you might have foils in there, and we know about the pringling issue. So for me, it's in my backpack, personal item, whatever it is. That's where the cards go. And then in your carry-on whatever is at least 2 days worth of extra clothes, right? So like 2 outfits. And then if you check a bag, that's like everything else. The other thing that I would just throw in real quick is that you likely want to leave yourself room to bring stuff back, because you might either win stuff or decide to pick up stuff from vendors, whatever. If you pack heavy and then you show up and you get more stuff, you got to figure out how you're getting it back. So the more kind of leeway you can give yourself, the better off you'll be.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm trying to deal with right now is say you're like me and you have no option and you have to check a bag. I run the risk of getting my bag and my cosplay lost before an actual event. One of my biggest fears is getting my checked bag lost and it's filled with everything I've worked on for the past month. So I make sure to have at least two air tags on me every time I fly. I put one in my carry-on and one in my checked bag, just to have a tracker at all times. Say they can't find it, you can find it. You can figure out where it is. I I live for my air tags. One of my biggest things is giant items. Let's say you win one of the big checks. Maybe you can't take that on the plane. I'm sorry.
Fuck if I can't. If I ever win a big check, you better pry that from my cold dead hands.
So you have two options. You can send it through like UPS or something, or you put it on the back of the plane, like right behind the last row, or the closet.
Yeah, I was about to say closet.
Yep,
every
the flight
single.
Listen,
exactly.
I take a lot of suits to casting stuff, so the closet is my friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I flew to Italy, my person I was flying with had a giant lira, and I don't know, it's an aerial thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to, it's an aerial hoop. If you want to Google it, it's huge. She refused to check it before the gate. She would take it with her and check it at the gate every time we got off. She made sure she took it. Just go through every possible scenario in your head if your end all be all is having to check a bag. Go through every failsafe.
Okay.
Make sure you have an air tag. Make sure, see if it's easier for you to check it at the gate. Safer sometimes, honestly. If you have big things that are very important, check it at the gate. Check it at the gate.
If you can.
Just
some of us can't check
the
the big stuff, but
so that's all really good advice. I have a question about the lira. Did that make it back safely from Italy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's weird. Your passport didn't.
Yes, it did.
She probably didn't check it at the gate.
Well, I wasn't on that flight with the lira.
Listen, this conversation made Logan so paranoid, he left mid-conversation just to check on his bags and then came back.
They're not safe, by the way. There's a cat in one of them.
He went all the way to the airport.
I mean, I live in Iowa. It's not that fucking far. But okay, now it's time to answer the community questions that were submitted for Carolina. This one's from Big Lou.
Probably not good.
For Carolina. How does it feel to be on the show? Is it a career highlight or lowlight for you? Also, any juicy stories for us involving Logan or Charmer?
Definitely a highlight of my career since I've been denied access to be on this podcast for months.
Also untrue.
Very true. Didn't know that I was invited, first of all.
Literally told you months ago that you had no invite.
In person, I do not take in-person invites. I take invites by email.
So wait. Your contention is that you're pulling an RDJ from Iron Man 2.
Drama.
You're an RDJ in Iron Man 2. You're like, I don't like it when people hand me things. Like, that's your defense here?
I don't like verbal invites, okay? I don't think they're actual invites unless I get an actual invite, okay? So when I was younger, they're like, oh, it's like when you're a kid and they're like, yeah, you can come, I guess. Like, that's the same thing. Like, it's not an actual invite.
So Derek, what she said to me, the words she said to me were...
As for really funny stories...
People just say that to be nice. And then I said to her, what fucking part of me do you think I say things to people just to be nice? I don't.
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Fine. Anyways, true. And as for really funny stories, every time I'm with these two, I'm probably belligerently drunk. So I don't remember.
I want to be clear.
I do have a funny story. Logan tried to... What?
It's not that we get you drunk, though. I want to make this very clear because I don't want to be pegged as like we are the like weird old guys that get somebody young enough to be our daughter drunk. That is not what is happening. If anything, we are your chaperones 90% of the time.
Especially at a sugar shack.
True. Except for that one time. Okay, except for that one time when Logan gave me whiskey. I'm like, I love whiskey. And he gave me whiskey that tasted like tire.
He gave you scotch.
That was an assault. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Should have just got
it tasted like rubber.
No, it
should have got her McAllister's.
What's that?
It's just the cheapest bullshit.
McAllister's? That's a deli.
It is also a deli. You are correct. Yeah, there was this time that Carolina showed up like a house on fire because she was staying at this shack in the middle of the woods that was an Airbnb. And
yeah, that was fun.
Found dead mice all over.
Why didn't you guys stay there again?
I'm not going to. I don't have to do that. And so we're at the point where, they were like, we got to get out of here. Started sending texts to anybody that would listen. And eventually we told them that we were at. And so they show up at the original speakeasy party in Loudonville, Ohio. And everybody that's on this podcast right now was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so at one point in time,
yes.
Carolina comes in and she's just like, I need a shot. Jordan, being Jordan, is like, okay.
I needed to get the fuck out of there, man.
And starts pouring Kraken shots. And he accidentally pours probably like a 2.5.
That's so good.
Yeah, pours a 2.5 for Carolina. And he's like, it's probably a little too much. He goes to dumps them out. Carolina snatches the cup from him and goes, no, I need my big bitch shot. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. I'm in for that.
I said that?
Yeah,
sure did.
Yeah. Verbatim.
Wasn't that like the first time I ever met you guys?
Yes.
1.5, yeah.
For me, it was the first time you'd ever met me.
And so I'm just like, now I'm just gonna watch the train wreck. And you did the shot, and you had you had puke face, like you were going green, and you had puke face, and I'm like, oh come on, just one time, dealer, just blow chunks.
That is so not true.
Oh,
that cannot be. That
and
cannot.
Jordan
that's
looks
not
at you.
True.
Jordan looks at you and goes, "Do you need a water?" And you're like, "Nope, I'm good." And I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna go through this. This is some bad bitch shit. I'm into this." And kind of watching it happen, and then maybe 45 seconds to a minute later, you're like, okay, I'll take a water now. And I'm like, that's respectable. That's a good hold. You almost got Dagon drunk, which is a thing, by pouring apple whatevers down his fucking throat.
Apple Crown and Sprite. Yes.
Yeah, Apple Crown and Sprite.
And he's like, so I give him this cup. I'm like, Dagon, here. And he says, what is it? And I say, I don't know. And I walk away.
That is exactly what happened.
And he drinks it and he likes it. He's like, I want more of that. And he's like, I want more of that. And I said, okay. And then we ended up being out of Apple Crown.
And he was sad, very sad.
I felt bad.
And then
more Apple Crown.
And then Carolina concussed herself because Jordan
I did a death drop.
Listen, I will defend Carolina on this because this was Jordan's mistake. Jordan did not read the room.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So Carolina volunteered for the concussion, but she did not concuss herself. Jordan did it because... So here's the thing. She calls it, what is it, death drop? I don't know, some carny game where you both grab arms,
death drop,
and you drop your weight.
It's a drag queen thing.
Okay, whatever you want to call it. The point is I don't do this normally, but I can already tell where it's going. You grab arms, you drop your weight. She's very clearly drunk. Half my size on a good day,
thing,
right?
Actually.
And so she's like, hey, just do this thing. And I was like, all right. So I hunker down and she pulls, and then I step forward and I'm basically like, oh, you got me, right?
This is a different thing.
And it is very clear because I don't want to just fling her, right? Again, she's half my size and I'm a responsible adult, and so she turns to Jordan, and Jordan's like, well, how hard can this be? Because he just saw me lose, not putting 2 and 2 together that I'm the adult in the room. So they go 1, 2, 3, go, and he just flings her like Hulk smashing Loki into this wall.
It was a frisbee. He bounced her off the fucking wall, and
then he looks at me like I was the idiot. Like, what, you couldn't do that? That wasn't that hard. I was like, Jordan, I was clearly letting her win.
Remember this? It was because of the concussion you suffered.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, it was bad. There's a reason you don't remember it.
When did this happen?
It happened it happened the moment your skull hit the concrete wall of the speakeasy, and that's why you don't remember this.
And so
this is not your fault. This is a Jordan fault because he did not do what I did, which is properly assess the level of intoxication of my opponent and just let them win.
The next morning, Elaine and Carolina and Ethan, I think, were the people that came from the
The Sugar Shack. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the next morning,
Yes.
I think it was Elaine walks in and I go, is that a tick? And she just had a tick on her from the Sugar Shack. And Carolina's like, oh, fuck. And so you two ran to the bathroom to go do a tick check.
Oh my God, yes.
That was amazing. I'm like, oh,
We
shit,
did
that's
do
funny.
a tick check. I
You
forgot
did.
about that.
That was very funny.
I'm afraid of ticks, yeah.
Yeah. You were a big fan of Apple and Crown, and then on the next day, you were a big fan of Lyme and disease.
Oh, no, absolutely not. We're not editing any of this.
Okay, they can't be edited. I was gonna talk. So actually, I'm not gonna go into grave detail, but me going to that speakeasy party was like the start of the demise of the last relationship I was in, which is actually pretty funny now that I look back at it. So funny. So fucking funny.
Yeah,
because the person I was dating at the time, I said, do you want to come? Listen. I'm like, do you want to come? And he says, no. He's in bed. He's in the Sugar Shack bunk, the bunk. He's like curled up. And I'm like, do you want to come? And he says, no, I have to play tomorrow morning. And I'm like, okay. And then I get the fuck out. I'm like, okay. Because listen, I was like, do you want me to stay? And he said no. So I said, okay. And then I left. Oh, my cat followed that pen that I just dropped. And then the next morning, I think it was me and you. We went to Burger King. And I didn't get him something from Burger King. And he got really mad at me and said our relationship was scuffed, which is such a gamer thing to say.
That is such a gamer.
By the way, I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, man, you Carolina, you misplayed our relationship.
You fucking weirdo.
Yeah, critical misplay.
Literally, low roll on relationship. Girlfriend, low roll on my girlfriend.
This was going okay, but you top decked wrong. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, you should have played around it. Should have played around it. But
should have played around going to that party.
You should have took a better mulligan.
Time. Oh, you
but yeah,
mulligan.
That party was the demise of the relationship. I should have mulliganed. Should have mulliganed my choices. I guess.
Absolutely not, because you would not have done it any other way. Like. If you go back in time and you have a choice again, you're just showing up at the speakeasy party anyway. Like, you're not changing that for anything.
I probably just wouldn't have asked.
Right, you just would have gone. But like, that's the thing.
If I go back in time, I would have been like, bye.
I mean, I respect somebody who thinks, hey, I need the rest because I want to play. But on the other side of the coin, like, I am not a spring chicken anymore. I'm an old man, and I had to work cast live the next day, and so if I can show up and be responsible enough to pull that off, come on now.
So I don't so the one thing I'm gonna get a little
First of all, I showed up and I was dressed up.
You were
next day.
No, you weren't.
And I was apparently concussed.
You weren't dressed up.
Yes,
you were
I was dressed
as you.
Yes, I was.
No, she means next day, after the speakeasy.
No, I was I wasn't in pajamas.
Correct. You were not in pajamas. That is much as true.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that night was that night matters a ton to me, because that's really the night that I became friends with both of you, and Elaine, as well as got to know Keith and Jacob a lot more than I already did. So yeah, that night was super important. I mean, I knew Matt an okay amount, but yeah, I really got to know him a lot more that night. So that entire party was
that was the first time I ever met Matt too.
It's what set so many things in motion was that night. So it's a good point in time, a fixed point in time to kind of focus on.
You really learn who you can trust when you bury a few bodies,
That's fair. I mean, we were in the
we
middle
did
of nowhere,
kill
Ohio.
3 people.
No, 3 people died. How they died, I have no knowledge. I have no
concussions.
Natural causes.
Yeah, they could have just dropped dead. I don't know. That they looked like they may have had lead poisoning from falling on some bullets. That's not for me to decide. So, that's for a coroner to decide. I just helped make sure that they found their final resting place safely. That was it. That's all my part of any of this was.
For legal purposes, I feel required to say that everything we say on the show is 100% true, much like I said earlier.
Yeah, so we are already on the FBI watch list too, so it's fine. Mine for my activist work, and one other thing I won't talk about on Wax, and Charmer for going to Ukraine.
Yeah, well, Ukraine thing, but also the like how to, Googling how to tie a noose for a different bit years ago.
Thankfully, just a bit. We're gonna move on to the next question for Carolina.
I never broke the law once. Never.
That's bullshit. Back to Carolina. Why do you continue to contribute to the degeneracy of the youth and the fab community as a whole? This is from Aladoris. So Jordan.
I like making people. I like making people miserable, but I also like making people happy. So me continuing to be on the internet makes people mad, and that makes me happy. Yeah. Do you know how many people block me on Twitter a day?
No, I don't care.
That is the fucking highlight of my life. People block me on Twitter. Like, I will go on Twitter and I'll be like scrolling. I click on somebody's tweet, like an official like fab tweet, and there's a person that's blocked me because it's like, oh, this user restricts who sees their thing, and so I just click on it. I'm like, oh, like, blocked.
You're
blocked
like
by this person. Blocked by this person.
Jeff Hoogland. It's
blocked
the
by
best.
this person. literally. And I see these people at events, and the at Baltimore, I was sitting at it was like a lunch, and this one person that I will not name was there, and I went up to Matt McGinnis and I said, should I tell him? Oh, hey, blah blah blah, you have me blocked on Twitter, nice to see you. And he's like, you should, because it will be really funny, but you also shouldn't, because it'll make the rest of the lunch very awkward.
But he did
so I decided against it, but I should have done it. I didn't do it. I should have done it. I should have done it. I didn't want to make lunch awkward.
I'm usually not somebody who is what I would consider to be like ultra controversial, but there are at least 2 people in the Flesh and Blood community that I am surprised do not have me blocked on Twitter. I will put it that way. There are some people that is it James White
and the official Flesh and Blood account?
No, like that's actually even weirder.
I'm friends with Alex.
James White is like connected with me on LinkedIn. Like professional me gets it done. I'll put it that way.
Really?
No, yeah, there's
Can I connect with him on LinkedIn?
No, you can't. You got to be part of there's a special crew. Anyway,
Charmer
I know a person who knows a person who does, like, listen, it's all networking, baby. Listen, the 2 people, let's just say that, like, sometimes I have a hard time when I commit to a bit. I really commit to the bit, and that includes, like, if I am going to, like, give somebody a hard time about something, I won't let up. And that includes, like, if you give my friends unmarked pills, like, I will continue to mention it because that's an irresponsible thing. So
odd.
Weird, you know?
Weird.
Unmarked pills. Unmarked pills. Unmarked pills. Unmarked pills. No, but
I think Pill Cosby actually submitted a Twitter question. Hold on.
Oh, my baby, Matt W. Phil Cosby is Matt W.
Yeah. Explain the Kermit gang was what he said. Yeah.
I love. There's a lot of people on Twitter who I have manipulated into changing their icons into Kermit the Frog. So if you're on Discord, please change your icon to Kermit the Frog. Please.
No.
I will actually just welcome you into my Kermit cult. And so I tried convincing Matt W into
it's not easy being green.
A Kermit, and he says, well, I'm more of a Bert and Ernie kind of guy. Listen, he's like, I'm more of a Bert and Ernie kind of guy. And so I scoured the internet for a picture of Ernie wearing a Kermit the Frog costume, and he still would not let up. He still wouldn't do it. He says, I am not your Kermie.
Oh, I don't think I can do Kermit voice right now, or else I would. Because like sometimes I can, and it just really depends. But I don't think I can pull it off right now.
I can't do it. I'm not embarrassing myself like that.
Kermit T. Frog here, allowing you to understand.
Kermit.
It's really difficult to do because it's like...
My problem is that the longer I try to talk like Kermit, the more I sound like Yoda.
Yeah, right. Because it's Frank Oz. It just travels. So it's Kermit T. Frog here, letting everybody know that they should not do drugs. I did drugs once, and then I wound up fucking a pig. None of this is anything you should do with your free time.
God.
But then eventually it just turns into Yoda, and then it gets gravelly, and that's when it all kind of fucks itself. So, because it's the same voice, but it's the same person that did the voices. Well, the original. Oh man,
I've got this picture of Bert and Ernie where, one of them is wearing.
Gonna give it to you?
No, it's one where one's wearing a doctor thing and he's got the stethoscope on the other. It's the closest. There isn't one where he's giving pills, but they are playing doctor.
Well, close enough, I guess. Next one is from Pat Smashgood. His first question was, is Charmer ready for this?
Oh,
Charmer,
I'm ready for this.
Oh, I know you are, baby. The second one, this is actually a legit question. With this lull between major events, what have you done to...
Before we can finish this question, can we get Carolina to shut her pussy up?
Oh my God. Dio, come here. Come here.
Cat is just fucked
First
up.
of all, he's a dude.
Whatever. All right, we got the cat back, so we're good.
Okay.
All right, make sure you give that... you know what? I'm not going to feed into your fucking thing. The question is, with this lull between major events, what have you done to stay connected to the game, or have you branched out into other interests?
So for me personally, I find it very easy to stay connected to the game, but that's because I probably play it more casually than competitively anyway, because it's very hard with my schedule for me to make it to events unless I'm working them. Like if people schedule me to work an event, I'll obviously show up, but then I'm not also getting to compete, right? I'm casting or doing coverage or something. But I also am always looking for more things to cover because I'm just a fan of card games in general, right? So for me to help fill the lulls, I cast other events. I can't say it because it hasn't officially fully been announced publicly, but for example, this weekend I will be in New Jersey covering the Pro Tour of another card game. So if you can put two and two together, or by the time this thing airs, it might even have been announced.
It'll be public knowledge.
Yeah, like I'm doing that. Obviously, Flake and I are doing the podcast Wampa Radio 4 Star Wars Unlimited, so I've got plenty to cover there. Logan and I are covering Alpha Clash, so I also have a lot to talk about there. The reality is that I adore Flesh and Blood. I think mechanically it's one of my favorite games of all time. I think the pitch system is fantastic. I love the community. They're like an extended family, and I want to cast and cover Flesh and Blood events. LSS, if you do happen to listen to this and you didn't tune out after all of the chicanery that happened before, please hire me. But I also I just love card games, and so I will literally cover whatever event you want me to cover. Like I'll cover Grand Archive, I'll cover Digimon, Battle Spirits, Pokemon. Like if you shuffle up and deal out cards, like you want me to cover poker, I will cover poker.
I would do that.
That's how I kind of bridge the gap for me. But also, like I said, just for Flesh and Blood in general, when we get into that competitive lull, and I do understand the frustration the competitive-minded players have, because I'm friends with a lot of them, but the reality is, like, I'm usually still playing casually and having a good time in the December and January months anyway, so.
Carolina, what do you do?
Yeah, I think it's the same for me. A lot of people know that this is like the only This is the only trading card game that I actually play. I didn't grow up playing a lot of trading card games. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit. I played Pokemon a little bit, but I didn't actually go into it as a child. And, I barely have started playing trading cards as a full just in my early 20s and stuff like that. And it's probably one of the only games that I actually like. Flesh and Blood is one of the only like play styles that I actually enjoy doing. So I do just stay on there. I do play casually. I'm not really a competitive person. I am a competitive person just in general, so I can't really be competitive in card games and in cosplay because then I will combust and break down. Actually, I will combust and break down. Being competitive in cosplay already like breaks my spirit. It breaks my spirit. But you know, in these lulls, I don't really think we have a lot of lulls. We haven't had a lot of lulls this summer, at least. You know, I keep pretty active in these communities, like online, and I watch all of the, you know, all of the live streams, and I don't know. I think I keep pretty active in the community, and I just watch every Battle Hardened. If I'm not at a Battle Hardened, I'm watching the Battle Hardened on stream, and I'm watching everyone play. And I go to a lot of the big events. I go to a lot of the Battle Hardens. I'm going, you know, I'm going to Nats. I'm going to Worlds, so help me. Hopefully, my passport gets in. Might be going to Melbourne, going to Calling Dallas, going to a lot of events. So, you know, if I take a month off, it's not really that big of a deal because next month I'm going here, and then the next month I'm going here, and it's not that big of a pause for me, really.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like for me, it's my life is kind of over busy to begin with, and I fully admit that it is pure stubbornness that I still do this show every week and will not allow us to miss an episode, because this is 86 weeks straight. There has never been a miss, not once. And that is just a giant source of pride for me. So that's become a very stubborn thing where, you know, we missed this is literally take 6. And it would have been very easy to say, you know, fuck it, things aren't happening this week. Yeah, let's go. And no, it's like, nope, we got to find a way to do this because I'm not putting the streak on the line. Like, absolutely not. And so otherwise, like if that mindset didn't exist, I probably would have just said, yeah, we can take a couple weeks off here and there. We'll hit a hiatus. It'll be fine. Because, you know, there's not a ton going on. And I am very involved with Alpha Clash because
I think that's also something is that, I think that's also something is that if I'm not playing, if I'm not at an event, I'm getting ready for the next event. My get ready time is a lot longer than typical card game players and typical players of any event. Hold on, my cat's stuck on my hoodie.
That'll happen.
I see you. But yeah, you know, my get ready time for these events, like we're a month away from that, and I already have to get ready for it. It's almost as if I'm play testing. It's my play test time, aka my craft time. So if I'm not at an event, I'm thinking about an event, or I'm thinking about my travel, or I'm thinking about this, or I'm doing this to do this.
Right.
It's like always on my mind. So if I don't have time to pick up something else, you know?
Yeah, this show takes between 30 and 50 hours of my time up every month. Between recording, editing, handling things outside of, you know, the personality part of it.
Marketing.
Marketing, yep. It all takes a bunch of time. It is not just we record a show. Like, granted, I do not give a flying fuck about show notes. I deleted an entire week. You know why? Because I didn't want to think about that week ever again. One of them was the show notes were just fuck it, we ball, because we had Flake on. Yeah, we had Flake on. Guess what we don't have to do? Write show notes. We're going to record for goddamn ever because it's Flake. And so, because we could record 12 hours and it would still be good. So there's no reason for me to write anything. Those are the weeks that are kind of like my weeks off, where I can just like turn it off and Jesus take the wheel. And those are great. But most of the time, I'm actually have to hunt things down. You know, what can we talk about? I try to put a rough outline out there because I like being off the rails. I don't want to fucking guide this show. I don't want I want loose talking points at most, because that's the show we are, is people hanging out and bullshitting with their friends.
It's organic.
That's what our fucking show is. And I don't want to go away from that, so I keep things loose there, but the rest of it is a lot. So I don't really have a ton of time. I don't feel like I need to stay connected with the game, because this keeps me connected with the game and I don't let it go. But I have branched into other things. Like I will...
Exactly.
Alpha Clash is a different animal for me because I'm close to it. Physically and being involved, I'm very close to it. The other thing is, if I'm going to pick up another game just to kind of have something to play on the side when there is potential lulls, it'll be the Star Wars game, because I'm a giant Star Wars nerd. I mean, I'm a giant nerd in general. There's a fucking Vinset here and a copy of I Feel Sick #1 over there. That is the actual only graded 9.8 copy of that printing. But
I have 2 of my drawers are actually just playmat drawers.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to see one of my favorite things? One of my favorite like flesh and blood things that I have right now. Hold on.
I'm very curious what this is, because if it's a severed head, I'm going to be
very
upset.
Scared.
Yeah, I don't know what to think.
No, it's a gift bag.
Oh, that's awesome.
Look at how cool this is.
With Leave No Witnesses?
Yes. So Fable put on, as you know, the Calling Singapore, and they actually just gave these away.
Oh, that's amazing.
They gave these away, and they were also giving these. So these are, I'm blanking on it. It's like file holders.
A folder.
And it has.
Oh wow!
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's actually dope.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
like it's insane. They were just like.
How did you get to Singapore?
Shout out to Matt.
Oh.
I didn't go to Singapore because I didn't have a passport. I had it off, and my passport, aka not here, not with me. So I couldn't go.
So Renfield.
But Matt actually brought this back for me, and.
No, that's sick. Like that's awesome. I've never seen those actually. Mask of
Memento. It's the coolest thing ever.
It's like Charmer on one side and me on the other side.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Literally.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a fat bag. That's what that is.
Matt was over like a few weeks ago. It's a fat bag. Matt was over like a few weeks ago, and I looked around my room and I just blurted out, room completely silent, by the way. I said, why is there flesh and blood paraphernalia everywhere? And I started like bawling. And he just started laughing because it was complete dead silence. And I just say, why is there flesh and blood paraphernalia everywhere all over my room? It's everywhere. I have an actual problem. Like every like spoiler card that I have is just on my desk.
Oh, what does that feel like?
It's just there. I have like shut up. So bad. I'm actually, let's talk about spoilers. Really sorry, don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, good, I guess.
That's Alpha Clash.
Dio? But yeah, I just have like flesh and blood stuff everywhere. So I'm like in deep on just everything. But let's talk about spoilers. I'm actually really mad at Elon Musk because when I needed to post my spoiler was when Twitter died for 24 hours. So yeah, really sad about that. Actually started crying because it took me a lot of hours and not a lot of, like, I didn't have a lot of hours to make it and to shoot it and to put everything together. And I ended up having to still post it, and it just, it was heartbreaking. Yeah.
Well, I mean
which is one of the main reasons
why mine wasn't seen very well.
One of the main reasons why I don't want to cosplay, because
I was just saying that's why mine wasn't seen far and wide as well. Twitter broke and they didn't get to see my reveal.
Yeah. But one of the main reasons why I can't really like start a cosplay right now is because I'm still off the tail end of just like working so hard for something working so hard to get something done, and then in the end it like kind of almost being like a feels bad for me. Just not just in like not a lot of people seeing it, but also just other things that happened afterwards. And
yeah, we'll talk about that.
I won't get
FAP
into.
After
just,
Dark.
You know, I really can't get into.
Well, you can.
And FAP After Dark, I'll get into it, but you know, huh? Yeah, it'll. If I talk about it, it'll be like kind of detrimental. So I
You mean you don't want to say that they decided?
You know, I'm just on a.
Oh, sorry. You didn't want me to announce it from the heavens. Fine. Do you want me to say it? Fine, I'll say it.
Not really.
It's the LSS.
No.
Don't worry. He bleeped it. It's fine. Nothing bad's gonna happen.
You think I would just go on the internet and tell lies?
Anyways, I don't know, man.
It's just a bit.
Maybe.
It's okay. Take a deep breath. It's just a bit.
I know.
It's a bit.
Our
entire show is a bit.
I scream. I know.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the last question.
Oh, God, I freaked out for a minute.
Going to the last question. The last question is from our good friend Jordan Kennedy. Please, everybody, make sure you're reading the Possum Papers every week. And the question is directed at Carolina, and the question is simply, but why?
Why not? Honestly. Why not? Why not? Let's get into why. Why not? Why am I going, if you really think about it, because this is a deep question, why not? Why not cosplay? Why not be yourself? Why not just be an actual belligerent idiot on the internet? Why not? What is stopping you? What is stopping you from just doing whatever the actual fuck you want? Do you think I actually fucking care?
Oh, you do, and that's the best part.
No. Okay, so listen, you're in my circle, so you know that I care, but I don't actually care. Like, is it going to ruin my life? We'll see. But you know, who cares?
I mean, it's so we all do things that, like, this is a, you know, I've already discussed that this entire show is a labor of love, right? Like, I don't get any external validation for the most part for doing this show. It gives me a chance to talk to my friend for a couple hours every week. That it's scheduled time, right? It's appointment viewing or whatever. And I could just, in a lot of ways, I've been able to just kind of reconcile that. I could just get rid of the show anytime I wanted to, right? Like I could just stop doing it. It's not a big deal. But every time I wind up in that spot, I wind up getting somebody that sends me a message that says like, hey man, thank you for continuing to do this show. It's, you know, I look forward to it every week and it gets me through some hard days. And you know what? I just wanted to say I appreciate you. And nothing is
the only thing that anyone has ever said is they called me a Twitter thought. Someone called me a Twitter thought. That was really funny.
I do remember that. I actually do remember that. Because I'm like, do you need me to kill them? And you're like, no, but maybe.
Real talk. I've been called the Twitter thought in the past. And it kind of made my day, so.
I'll say, I mean, somebody called me a thought, I might actually take it as a compliment. But that's a different thing entirely, because I'm not, well, maybe I am. I don't know. But the point is that if I can keep doing this show and it makes one person once a month excited for something that gives them something to look forward to, I will keep doing it until the day I die. Because that means I'm making an impact in somebody's life positively. And that's all I want. All I want is for somebody to, if I'm making somebody's life better, I don't give a shit how much worse it makes mine, if it does at all. Because I'm doing something good with my time. And that's literally all I care about.
Yeah.
And that's, you know,
I think the only thing I actually genuinely care about is, hold on. He's stuck again.
Oh, it's fine.
Ow! Ow! He gets stuck on my hoodie because he attacks it. The only thing that I genuinely do care about, and the one thing that I can, like, I hope I can take away from this is, I hope the costumes I make inspire others to make more costumes and inspire others to just not be so timid about unlocking whatever crafty thing they have hidden inside them. Everyone has a secret little craft that, like, just everyone is crafty, but not everyone has the, I guess I could say, confidence to just go and do it. You know, Lord knows I didn't have the confidence to do it for a long time because I was scared of what other people would think of me.
And then you exuded
which is one of the main reasons why I just exactly exuded confidence, I guess you could say. And now I'm gender bending and bimbifying men, and it's the funnest thing I've ever done in my life. And now I'm figuring out how to get, you know, giant wings shipped from Missouri to Vegas, and you know, just doing things and one-upping myself over and over and over again. It's mentally taxing, and you know, it's like, you know, money taxing also, but that's fine. I hope I can one day, like,
and I think that
you know, my digital footprint is big enough, so if you Google me, then you can probably see my cosplays, and I hope you cosplay them. And
hold on, I'm gonna go to feetfinder.com really quick and find out if you're on there. But the
oh no.
I'm not doing that. I will not have that in my search history. But
Again.
No, for the first time, you fucking cuck. And so, but like, I think you're right in one of those points, which is, I mean, I wouldn't use the word crafty. I would say that everybody has something they want to create, and that's something that they can create and that they'll do well to create. For me, I think it's this show, right?
Midnight. Like, okay, I'm not really talkative right now.
Oh, it's good. You're fine. And so, and for Charmer, it's, you know, his personality in casting is really where he shines. I mean, obviously he's great in this show because, well, Charmer's great, but it's the way that he comes through casting, because he can shift gears so easily from playing both roles, that makes him just versatile, and you can tell that he actually just cares. Like, he could probably not give a shit about the game he's casting, but give a shit about the cast, and that will do enough.
Yeah,
and that's all there is to it, because
just give a shit enough to actually give people a good show,
right? And that's and I think that all of us, kind of in this weird content creator circle, have that thing. We have that one thing. Like me, it's being a drunk idiot on the internet, and I'm good at it. And then
but I have a really hard time just giving myself the name, like, just content creator. I don't like to call myself a content creator, but whenever someone tries to diminish like what I do or say that I'm not, I just look at myself like, I didn't think of myself as that for a long time. And then something happened where I was like, oh, you're not good enough for this. And I looked at myself and I said, I actually am. I feel like I do make content in a rather unorthodox way. You know, it takes me longer to churn out content, but I still churn out content for people. You know, I try to give you, like, hey, timeline this, here's a video of me putting something together, but also putting some form of personality to it. You know, I do make small videos. You know, I edit, I make edits, and I make costumes that go with, like, you know, it's a story. It goes from me shit talking on the internet to me, like, shit talking in a video to me, like, shit talking and making a costume to the costume actually, you know, coming to life. And when people try to diminish it and say that I'm not, or I'm not good enough, or you're really just like, you're an idiot that wears a costume that tries to get validation points, it hurts, you know, because I put my heart and soul into these things that I make, and not everybody understands that they are very important to me. These things that I make are very important to me, and the way that I present myself in my costumes are more important than anything I do. More important, like, someone can think I'm a piece of shit, and I don't care about that. Someone can think I'm the worst person in the entire world, but they can't say my costumes are bad. And that's the only thing that matters.
And that's giving a shit. that's it.
Yeah.
That's giving a shit about what you make. And we all have it. Some people it takes longer to find. It took me 40 years. But you know, we all have something inside of us that is something that we can give back. And that's really what matters. So Jordan, to answer your question, that's why. Yeah. And also go fuck yourself.
That's why. And also go fuck yourself.
Yeah, and we're gonna get out of here now because it's now midnight for Carolina and myself. That means it's 1 a.m. for Derek. But Derek is also not human, as it turns out. And,
sorry, Derek.
Oh no. He is ready to go pour himself a cup of coffee.
Yeah, this has been out for a bit, which is honestly the real travesty.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's not normal. So we're going to do some Patreon shout outs because, well, we can. I have made a slight change to the Patreon tiers. So I want to go ahead and point that out really quick because if you are logging on to the Patreon at patreon.com.
If you are Logan, you are top Patreon tier.
I'm the only Patreon tier. However, we have changed the name of the $2 Patreon tier from Patreon Pal to FAP After Dark. And the reason we have done that is because we will be doing monthly FAP After Dark sessions in the Discord in the Patreon only voice channel. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, fuck, I'm tired, at any tier, you will be able to come in and listen. Also, you will be able to submit everybody can submit one story that they would like us to tell per month on FAP After Dark. Mind you, that there is no recording of this that will be published because blackmail. And so, give us whatever story you want to, and we'll kind of vet out which one we think we want to read, and we'll read it live on air. So this could get messy, and I'm here for it. This is what I want. This is the adults only.
If I go on FAP After Dark, can I just talk about every bad date I've been on?
Absolutely.
That's what it's there for.
That's what it's there for.
Oh, thank God.
I've got so many raw stories that I don't tell.
The horrible dates. I've had a man tell me that I've had a man tell me that he was in love with me on our first date, and that was a little bit weird, but also it just gets worse from there. And it's probably one of the funniest date stories I've ever fucking had. But yeah, the other ones are sad, but that one.
You think that's funny. Bad? We should have my wife on. She has 23 years of bad dates to talk about.
They're all with you. That's the fucked up thing,
right?
I mean, you can tell Carolina. You can tell the story about the time that Netflix called you a 6. So
why do you remind me of that?
Because it's funny. So we're gonna go ahead and give a shout out to our patrons. The associate producers, we have Andy, Kenny, and May. For executive producers and up, we have C-Dubs, Josh, Lance Goodthrust, my favorite dude, Matt Two Tokes, Papa Mike, Alex, Ed, Philip, Richard, Taylor, and Trevor. Again, if you want to become a patron of FAP and have access to FAP After Dark, go to patreon.com/fleshandpod. The link is in the show notes. I just confirmed the number of tiers and then I forgot the number, so fuck it. There are some number of tiers. I actually don't know the number at this point in time, but the FAP After Dark is the important part, which all tiers get access to that. Carolina, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Carolina2ALVA. You can find me on Twitter, Bitchy Velour, BITCHYVELUR. It is midnight. I haven't slept in a long time. OUR, yes, at Bitchy Velour. You can also find me on Discord, where my @ is now Butterdog69. I may or may not be making a YouTube channel. Who knows? When that comes out, that'll come out when I find time. You can find me at events. I'm the idiot wearing a costume.
One of the idiots wearing costume, but yes. Usually the best looking one, 9 times out of 10.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I can have an opinion.
X that out. Ooh.
But
I don't like that. I don't like. Okay, listen. That's another like whole thing.
We're not going to dive into your insecurities.
Blowing smoke up my own ass.
But if I'm blowing smoke,
yeah.
Okay, Charmer, where can they find you?
Fine.
Searching for a new career after this episode.
You're not wrong. But
That's
where
it.
else? That's it.
I mean, I would say,
LinkedIn.
like, what do you want me to say? Like, find me on Twitter like I do every week, except for that doesn't exist anymore. It's like X videos or whatever.
Yeah.
So go Google xvideos.com. I'm sure that'll go well.
I mean,
and then
Twitter is the number
like
one.
I'm on like Blue Sky and Threads, but nobody else is. Like,
Twitter
I want to talk Flesh and Blood, but
number one place to find porn.
it is now that it's X videos.
That's good. Literally.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Twix, whatever it's called now, I guess. At Logan Peterson.
Twix.
Do you like left Twix more or right Twix?
She likes both the Twix at the same time.
The same shit.
Oh my god.
I like both the Twix at the same time.
Wow.
Two Twix on. I was about to say something way worse. Never mind.
Yep, you were about to. Yep, you sure were.
I knew it.
I'm glad.
I know her. Like, I can script write for her.
Oh my god. Yeah, you can also find if you want to email the show after this, just fleshandpod@gmail.com. Again, I just need to reiterate that all complaints will go to Flesh and Pod Legal, which is a subsidiary of Black Hole Legal, which is still the trash can next to Jordan Kennedy's desk. So don't send me any fucking complaints. I'm sure this episode's gonna.
And if you want to block me on Twitter, please don't.
I thought you liked that. I thought you. All right.
No, listen here. Listen, there are two things that are happening right now. People block me on Twitter, or people unfollow me right now because they find out I'm in a relationship. So,
all right.
Listen, let me put on my dad hat for a brief moment. If you're one of those douchebags that unfollows a woman because you find out she's in a relationship, then you weren't following her for the right reasons. Don't do that, gentlemen. That's just not cool.
Stop sucking. Like, really. Jesus, I hate.
Like, actually.
Okay, well, I'm done.
Oh, it's happening. Like, I realized that. I was like, ooh.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure it is happening. I'm just saying, like, one, Twitter's not a dating site, but also no woman is going to fuck you because you followed them on Twitter. Like, reassess your values.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
True.
I'm going out on that note. So with that, I guess we may talk to everybody next week. I'm not sure after this episode, but if we do, great. Bye.